Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. YakGadget, for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to YakGadget.com. Eastport Marina, on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, and fishing needs, go to eastport.info. Now let's get this show started.
Stakeover Tuesday, guys and gals. Let's do this.
Welcome to a special edition of the Rusty Hook Podcast, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. 1 hour of straight talk regarding tournament news, angler profiles, gear reviews, and more. Now let's get our show started by joining with John Rapp, our host.
All right. Let's see here. Get this all set up. So, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast, my friends. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and follow, and, let me throw these up here too. On the top right, I got some links if you want to check out my Instagram, Twitter, and you got the Rusty Hook that streams over on my YouTube platform. So right now, we're streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And today I sit here behind the computer, and what I've been doing, I've been writing a report, working on, basically in the military terms, an after-action review for the year for the Feelfree Fishing team, which I am the team manager of. And it's been a awesome way to sit down and look at the guys, recognize their accomplishments, and I've already got basically a 12-page report prepared to send to my marketing director over at Feelfree, and I'll definitely get it to the guys and gals for them to review and look at as well. But it made me think about my success and failures of the year. And, I had a great year health-wise. That's the other thing, is that, everybody should count their blessings for their health. Several of my guys that were on my competitive team weren't able to get out and travel and fish the tournaments that they wanted to and had targeted because of health issues. And we need to make sure that we take care of ourselves and do everything possible to stay healthy. Overall, I'd love to hear from you guys and let me know how your year went. Where you could have improved, where you exceeded. I know for me, it's been a hell of a great year. As a, I don't want to say professional, but as an angler, being announced and being the very first fishing team manager for Feelfree was an extreme honor. Sitting down and looking at the guys that we've had on the team for years, and a lot of us are going to be hitting milestones. There's 3 of us in 2024 that'll hit 10 years with Feelfree. 10 years. I mean, most people have to work that long to get vested to get a retirement, especially if you work in a state position. So I in May of 2024, myself, Beth, my wife upstairs, she's the oldest team member. And then we got Cody Bowers and myself, who came in just a few weeks behind her. So a lot of recognition there for sticking around and hanging, working with the brand that you know and you love. But that report, you know, we fished as a team over 141 events this year. About 60 plus were live events for 20 of us that traveled. Not everybody traveled. We had a couple guys that really burnt up the road and traveled for the 3 tours, you know, the Bass, the Hobies, and the KBF events, and really proud of their successes. But you know, being named the Feelfree Fishing Team Manager, I felt was one of the bigger things. And then having ZPRO Lithium call me and ask me to join their team and becoming the team manager there, and then going into 2024, I'll be also managing the clubs. You know, everybody that's looking to get sponsored by ZPRO. If you run a fishing club, just reach out to me. I'll send you an application, and what we'll do, we'll evaluate and see how we can work together if it's feasible for us. What are your goals for 2024? Have you sit down and thought about that yet? I mean, crazy. We're already in December. It's the 5th, 20 days before Christmas. And I got a great episode coming up next week for you. I've got Dustin Nichols, and Randy Newton are going to join me. Possibly Jacob from Texas is going to join me too, if we can get him on. And we're going to do a stocking stuffers episode. I'm going to go over a few things here too that I talked to you guys last week about, where I ordered from a company called Temu, and they have a bunch of fishing stuff on their site. I thought, well, I'm going to take a look at it and see if it's just a bunch of junk or if it's just a bunch of runoffs. And I think you guys know what I mean by runoffs. So to explain to you how some of that stuff works is, let's say SPRO Frogs places a 100,000 order, and they send it over to their company in China who makes those for them. Well, like I got a box here of those frogs in this little container. And then I got another bigger box. Try not to drop everything here. Oh, there goes one. This frog lure box here that came from Temu as well. You know, my first thought, it's 9 pieces. You can see here on the back. And you know, I thought, well, I know some people that fish around here. I thought I'd take a look at them, see if they're worthwhile. And maybe stocking stuffers, you know. We're always looking for good deals. And everybody's got anglers in their family. And, you know, fishermen are like women with shoes. You can never give us enough tackle. You know, so I grabbed a few things. Got this buzz bait, and I'm going to show you how they package them. They're very careful. I mean, I was impressed with their shipping. It looks solid. I mean, there's no guarantee that these are going to run good. It depends on how the stuff is made. But everything that I've looked at and I've compared to what I already have in my tackle seems to be solid. So we'll have to see. But so they come packaged in a little package like this. But what they do when they ship it is they ship it in a little box, a little container like that. And we all can always use extra boxes to throw underneath our seat in the kayak, store hooks and candy bars, keys, and other things that we know that these are not waterproof, but they do provide some protection if you're careful. So, but I showed you these packs here. I got a pack of these. The old famous Whopper Plopper. I figured instead of paying 20 bucks or 12 bucks, 8 to 12 bucks for one, why not get a package for 8 bucks? Now, I suspect they may have to change the hooks out. That's not a problem. And I have been adding to my collection of these little ribbed baits. Got several of these. I got this container, plus I got a few that came like this. Now they came, they're in this package here. But they're double shipped. What they do is they ship them in a little bag like that, so you have to open them up and they're folded up inside. So they're trying to protect you a little bit. But I'm going to try to hold this up where you can see it. This is more of a little fat bluegill versus those are a little skinnier. You can see the difference. So different presentation. I'm going to throw those in the boat, start throwing a few swim baits. And I did get a bigger one too, which I thought was funny. How you love that packaging. Just solid white. No name. No sticker. Swim bait. So, yeah, I mean, you seen what I got there. Probably 15 frogs, 6 whopper ploppers. Oh, I got 4 buzz baits in different colors. Pack of worms. I think I spent 60 bucks. Maybe that much. But yeah, I thought I'd give it a try, see what happens. Always looking to have a little extra in the tackle bag. But so if your wife is if you're getting those packages that come in with Temu, they're like big old white packages with orange tape on them. Have her take a look at that stuff for you. Maybe get something in your stocking. But again, I want to let you know that next week we got Randy, Jacob, and Dustin coming on. They're going to talk about what they recommend and what you might find in their stocking. We're going to drop a video here for you. And I want to remind you guys that are setting up their calendars for 2024 as we're recapping 2023 and we're looking forward. You need to add this tournament to your calendar. Alright guys, welcome back to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. We're here on the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. So you'll see an announcement here soon, probably after next week, where the guys will be taking their Christmas break. And we'll be off air until probably the second week of January. Hopefully we'll get everybody back healthy and we'll have a full lineup for you guys to enjoy. And I promise for you guys that are out there that run the podcasts over Apple or through your stereo system in your vehicle, that I will do a lot better getting caught up and getting my episodes on Spotify. Um, since I've switched over, I had some issues logging in to Spotify, but I finally got that rectified, and I know I'm about probably 15 episodes behind to getting everything caught up there. But so yeah, I just showed you the Paddle and Fin 2-day open that we're going to do at Del Holla. We've been down there for the last 3-4 years. I know this will be my 4th year going down, so they've been down there about 5. And it's a $100 entry fee. Eastport Marina is awesome. The location is great. You're right there at the fork of the river and the lake, 2 rivers actually, with the O-Bay. Excellent fishing. Last year we had large daily payouts for big bass, over $2,000, because of the sponsors that stepped up locally, and we're hoping that they will do that again. But each day, when we've timed it perfectly that you can go there, and if you're there in time, you can check the banks because the brown fish are moving up. Both days last year we had 99 and like 103 inches for the guy that won it. So it's world-class fishery. The smallmouth there are huge. Beth went with me last year, and this year it'll be on her birthday. But she went with me last year and zoomed around in her Moken with that Bixby J2 motor, and we got back. She caught one hell of a nice spot. Actually, she caught several nice spotted bass in the river, and I got them on video, which they're on my Facebook page. If you go back to April and look, I've got several videos of us out fishing. But that's one thing, when I'm recapping and I'm sitting here thinking about 2023. Went to Guntersville for KBF, and Feelfree Kayaks paid for our entry fee for our team event. That was when the Ambassador Series was going on, and we went down and fished, and we got a house. One of my buddies, Kyle Struther, he got a house for us, and he had actually been down 2 weeks before. He was working down there, but I don't know if he was fishing another event. But he had a house, and we went and pre-fished for several days. Weather unseasonably cold for Alabama the whole time we were there. I mean, when you're talking below 30 degrees a couple of times, and in the mid 30s most of the morning until it warmed up into the 40s a few times. But had a great time. Got to go out with my good buddy Jody Queen a couple times. Jody, he stirred up the locals down there trying to cross underneath the bridge. I still laugh about that. He calls me on the phone, John, where are you at? I'm like, well, I'm back in the cove, back here where you are. And he's like, no, I'm back up. He's 2 miles back up where we're putting at. And when he was going to go underneath the bridge, underneath the road, there's a bunch of crappie fishermen there, and they got all upset that he was going to go over their line. They didn't want to reel it in. And so a couple of them were throwing rocks at him and threatening him to come out of the water. And he called me and asked me to come over. He thought he was going to get into a big fight. So by the time I got there, he had already got through, and those crappie fishermen had moved on. It took me about 15, 20 minutes with my NK180 to motor back down there. I had to navigate through some of that grass to get there. But Jody's he's a classic best guy. He's funny. I tell you, I hope you guys have had the opportunity to sit down and chat with Jody. I got to go camp with him and his family and friends in July down on the New River and fish with him, socialize for 3 days and we had a blast. In between him running things at the museum or the art studio, and then traveling for his tournaments and stuff. But that was what we did in July. Another thing that I got to do in July that was pretty awesome is work with DuBro Fishing a lot. I'm on their team, and we did a photo shoot to iCast. So me and Matt, Brian Schiller, we all met up in Tennessee, stayed the night, went and fished Nickajack, I think is the name of the lake right there near Memphis. It's right there on the Gunnersville line, part of the Gunnersville water chain. And then we cruised on down from there the next day, stopped in Georgia, went and hung out with Fletch Griffin there at the Westbrook Supply Company, ate dinner with him, checked out the shop, and enjoyed his company. We were going to stay and fish Georgia, but our fishing trip fell through. So what we did, we just motored on down to Florida near Yankeetown the following day and got set up to go do our deep sea fishing. And that's when we met with Brian and Daniel, and we did some fishing with the Bachowskis from DuBro, and had a great time. They caught a lot of fish. So iCast was a blast. We set up the paddle and fin booth right in a little section, not much bigger than my desk, and we brought guests from all over the arena, from different booths, and we talked about their products, their sales, what they had coming out for the year. It was a great time. Paddle and Fin probably did 40 different interviews in those 2.5, 3 days that we've showed over the last 6 months. So make sure you go back and look at the old episodes and see if there's anybody that you guys like or follow, and go back and check that episode out. We interviewed quite a few people. I got to interview Adam Milstead, UFC fighter. Man, what a great guy. Just top notch. And what's funny, what people don't realize is with Adam is he's old school. I mean, he's not just somebody that started picking up kayak fishing recently. I stumbled across a photo with him and Don Corbett. Now, if y'all know who Don Corbett is, he used to run 412 Bait Company up Pennsylvania. And why does that name ring a bell? Is 412 Bait Company back 9 years ago was very, very popular. Soft plastics, when the Ned rig was becoming better known, before Z-Man Plastics was out, and which Z-Man, we all know, pretty much put the Ned rig on the map. But they had several baits that they used that were really, really effective. And Matt Ball from Ohio, West Virginia guy, lives up on the Ohio line. Of course, he was our first national champion. And he was a 412 bait team member and used a lot of Don's stuff. Of course, since as time moves on, Don sold 412 to Fishing Online, who then sold it to the current owner, John. Great guy. Look forward to seeing him here in a couple months at the Summersville Arena. He comes down to my little town for our Woods and Water Festival, and he sells baits. I'm hoping he comes back down. But show season's coming up too, and iCast was a great trip. We did a lot of photo shoot, did a lot of content, drone footage. It was a lot of fun, and enjoyed it. Matter of fact, the marketing director, Brian Schiller, who is the paddle and fin guru, podfather, he called me today, and him and Matt, we're all going to meet right after Christmas. He's going to fly me up to Chicago to DuBro to look at some content and do a little brainstorming on some stuff up there at DuBro HQ in the Mad Lab. So I'm looking forward to that. That ought to be a lot of fun. And that'll end my 2023. So 2024, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. I guess we've got Randy and him. We're going to go over the schedule here on the next show or two in the next few days for the 3 trail schedule. And I've been looking at it pretty hard. I can't really decide on which ones I want to go because it's not that I don't want to spend the money on the events. My year's pretty much solid, you know. But I do want to probably go to Santee. Matter of fact, one of my good buddies that we retired together went to the State Police Academy together. And then we worked together our last 12, 13 years. And then we retired within months of each other. And we kayak fished together. He makes my fishing rods. It's old Jack Gillespie down in Princeton, West Virginia. He's one of those guys that you love to hate because if it can be done, he can do it. He's just the most talented man I've ever met in my life. But he makes my fishing poles, custom makes them, using a lot of stuff from Mudhole, which is now an American Tackle, which is now Mudhole, and so that's the reason I showed you guys a couple episodes ago the order I got from Black Friday. I got a new Fluger reel, and I got a new reel here from Cast King. This is the Speed bait caster, and I'm gonna marry those up with a couple of Jack's rods that he built me late this past year, and get them things out to work. And that's one of the reasons I actually bought those ploppers and stuff, on sale, because through the Temu. So I figured I got that new fast retrieve. I'm gonna start pitching those things out into the edge of the banks and bring them back and work them hard. And where I'm at here in West Virginia, if a muskie grabs it and chews on it and steals it, no big loss. So, but yeah, paddle and fin in April. But went to Guntersville in March. Went to paddle and fin down at the Eastport Marina in April last year. And then I'm going to talk about my May and June when we come back. But first I'm going to drop some my partners out here and show you some of these brands that I really love.
ZPRO Lithium, serious power in 12, 24, and 36 volt applications. Bluetooth capable. Go to ZPRO Lithium for more. DuBro Fishing, American-made marine applications and locally manufactured soft plastics. Visit DuBroFishing.com. Feelfree Kayaks, paddle, pedal, or power. There's something for everyone. Check out feelfreeus.com. YakGadget, American-made kayak fishing accessories and gear. Go to YakGadget.com for your rigging needs. Ace Adventure Resort, West Virginia's #1 destination for hiking, biking, ziplining, whitewater rafting, and more. Check out aceraft.com. Westbrook Supply Company, Georgia's premium supplier for all your kayak rigging supplies and fishing equipment. Go visit westbrooksupply.com.
Jamming with a little Feeling This. I'm sure you guys have used that. It's one of those free musics that you can add to your videos. I've been using it for years on my YouTube videos, background music and stuff like that. But yeah, so man, I'm looking forward to Lake Erie. Buddy Vance and Brandy, his wife, they always set up a trip for us every year to go up to Lake Erie. Right around Memorial Weekend, we go up for a week. We got an Airbnb that we stay at right across the border in New York. Man, and it's okay. It's a little bit of a pain to drive back and forth. It's about a 30-minute drive, 25-30-minute drive. because we fish Presque Isle Bay, and if you've ever been to Lake Erie and you've been to Presque Isle, it's a state park. It's like an island or a peninsula off the main body of land that goes out into Lake Erie, and so, but it's a park, and it's slow travel. I mean, to get where we put in at, it takes about 15 minutes when you enter the park to get there. And once you get out of there and then go to the Airbnb, it's 45 minutes in the vehicle each way. But the good thing, and one of the reasons I do like that is, there's a little bar/restaurant right across from where we stay at. So you can just park your vehicle, go in and change, and walk over and eat, have something to drink, and then you come back in and set up your gear for the next day. But I highly recommend all you boys, if you haven't spent any time on Lake Erie in May is late May, but any time in May, early June, you need to get up there. The bass move in waves, the smallies, and they are fat and they're ready to spawn. I have a bunch of video. 2 years ago when I went up, I used my hotspot right here and plugged up my second iPhone, and I did probably an hour on the water video here on the Rusty Hook podcast page. And last year I did a little bit of video as well. I didn't use my hotspot, I just used my regular phone. But it was a great time. I think I got Greg Kuffner, buddy up in Parkersburg, and then I believe Buddy Vance. Both of those, Tony Boland too, if I remember correctly. I got those guys on video catching fish while I was live. I tried to bounce around and get everybody, just sit there and record them while they were fishing. That's just the way the fishing was. So I really look forward to that trip every year because of the fishing. So that's basically my year. After July, things slow down and free up. I try to do some of the local stuff here, but this year, I retired fully back in March, and I do not have to drive to and from work. So I'm able, depending on finances, I'll be able to manage to travel and do a few more things this year. But yeah, it's going to be a great year. Let's see, I got a comment. Let's pull that baby up and see what somebody had to say here. Well, hey, yeah, Greg, and that's I'm tickled to death about that, man. I think I mentioned earlier that Gillespie reached out to me. I may have not finished that thought. That's one of the bad things about being old, but they're going down to Black's camp at Santee Cooper at the beginning of March. And if anybody knows anything about Santee Cooper, is that that water down there, that's when the spawn is beginning. It's probably in the second wave at the beginning of March. Jack, all of us, we used to go to Hills Landing right there in the canal, or Canal Lakes, one or the two, depending on which side of the bridge we were able to get housing, and we would stay there for a week at a time. Back when I was in the state police, there would be 7 to 12 of us go, and we would, this wasn't kayak fishing. Heck, at that time I had a 21-foot pontoon boat, and I would drag it down there, and 4 of us would go out and we would catfish. But Jack and them, they got their bass boats, and they go down and do a lot of catfishing. But which we weren't opposed to it. We would go out and try to find schools of fish, out in the lake and do a little bass fishing. I caught several nice bass out of the pontoon, but he's going to Black's Camp this year. A bunch of the guys, old retired guys, are going down now that were active back when we went 15 years ago. Should be a lot of fun. And Santee Cooper, if you haven't been there, it's on one of the big schedules this year. I want to say it's KBF. I have to go look, but you probably need to write that one down and go, because they have quality largemouth in there. Do not go in a kayak over around Angels. Angels has the big sandy areas over back on that one corner of the canal, and that's where some monsters are grown. Some huge dinosaurs are back there. You don't want to get over there, I don't think. But be like our buddy from Florida, Jason Denise, who was on a podcast a few weeks back, I think about a month ago, was talking about throwing a buzzbait down in Florida where he's from. I don't know if it was in Tannerack or one of those lakes, and an 8-foot gator started chasing it, and he was standing in his Feelfree Lure 13.5 when the gator didn't peel off when he was at the kayak. He stayed focused on that buzzbait and rammed Jason's boat. Didn't flip the boat, but it did knock Jason out, which he was with somebody else, and they laughed about it because Jason was walking on water getting back into his kayak. Yeah, it's good times, man. It's a good year. Good, love those Feelfree boys and hearing their stories, and I really look forward to getting that the report I've been working on diligently the last 2 days out to them, so they can see what their hard-earned work provided them. We're fortunate too. We've got some really good partners with our team, like DuBro, like ZPRO, YakGadget, who give the guys a discount to where they can get stuff, save a little bit of money, and we all know if you can save $100, that helps pay for an entry fee. $100 can be a tank of gas. I mean, it goes a long way when you got these type of relationships with companies that help your anglers out. And I want to thank those companies for partnering with us and assisting our anglers to get out there and do what they do and what they love. I guess I would say a lot of everybody here is probably sitting down and thinking about their 2024 and who they're going to approach. Watching for those ads for people looking for taking applications for new team members. I know that we're wrapping that up at ZPRO. I've got my team pretty much solidly wrapped up. Feel free, if you're a Feelfree fisherman, you have a Feelfree kayak and you're out in California, if you're in the Midwest area like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, reach out to me. Let me know what kind of kayak you have, and I'll send you an application, and we'll try to get you brought into our team. We've got a great team of, right now it's right at 50 anglers, but with our growth, we've opened up a new warehouse in Louisville. We've got a new warehouse out in California, so we're looking at expanding our team a little bit and trying to put people in those regions so they can assist those stores and warehouses when we have demo days and just help promote the cause, so. But yeah, simply put, I'm very pleased with my 2023, and I hope everybody out there is pleased with yours. Greg, if you're still watching, we need to make a phone call, talk to each other, and start planning out some trips. I know that you're going to be going to Dale Holla in April, and we'll be going together up in up to Lake Erie in May. And I know you have your month-long trip down in Florida, and I think it's in July, August time frame. So maybe I'll just jump in the van with you, and throw the kayak up on top, and go down there with you, slide Beth and some luggage, and we'll head on down. But yeah, guys, I'd love to hear what your plans are for 2024. I'm not gonna keep you much longer. I know it's about that time of year. Things are slowing down, where we can sit down and we can plan out our trips. Yeah, that's what I figured, Greg. Yeah, we March. Actually, that would be cool. I think you go over toward the St. Pete area. I'm not for sure, but that would be really good. I know you and the guys you fished with last year killed some huge reds. Guys, go look at Greg's page and look at some of the fish that he caught last year. I mean, he didn't take. He wasn't out in his kayak. He wasn't in the mangroves, but with his kayak. But he was out with somebody that he knew down there, a charter, and caught some really great fish. Yeah, good times. Anyway, make sure everybody you jump back on next week. Watch the shows that are coming up. We've got, like I said, that Randy's got a show coming up. We're going to talk about the 3 trails. Then I'm going to bring Randy and a couple of boys from Texas on. We've got Chasing the Tides, Dustin Nichols, Jacob Oldenburg from Hazard or Havoc Kayak Fishing Podcast will be on, and we're if I can catch him, and we're going to do our stocking stuffing episode. So anyway, nothing but love. Be blessed, and Merry Christmas. Nicholas Beltran, nothing but love for you. Be safe, be blessed, and Merry Christmas, everybody. May have my Santa hat on next week with my Santa beard. We'll see.